Magic had this to say about the Nets, their issues, and how they have to solve them.
The problem with Brooklyn is this. They're going to need some really good role players. The ones they have now is not going to help them win a championship. So they got to get guys who can really fill a role and bring something to the table. That's the one thing I think Brooklyn has to trade for or sign this offseason, get some role players that can a tough guy down low that can give them second shots.
I thought Tucker would be a great fit. So P.J. Tucker, I thought, would have been a great fit. He ended up going to the Bucks instead, and that was a huge part of that series, of course, him defending Kevin Durant. But, Jay, like, what do the Nets need to do?
Nothing. They need to do nothing. They need to get healthy. They don't need to make any trades. If there is a more aggressive big that you can find that gives you a little bit more versatility, then maybe. But there's really nothing they have to do. I mean, Blake Griffin played well. Joe Harris couldn't hit the side of a barn. I actually really like their role players. I don't bet money on Joe Harris being as abysmal from the three-point line next year and in the playoffs. I don't really – this team, when they're healthy, will by far be the favorite. By far. They were going to beat Milwaukee with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So if you have James Harden and Kyrie, KD, you got guys like Nick Claxton, you got guys like Blake Griffin, you got guys like Jeff Green who can space the floor, knock down shots from the outside. You got Joe Harris. And maybe you find a good backup, guard. Maybe you can, upgrade a tad, considering even though Mike James played well at times. And Bruce Brown, I really like as a piece player. What else do you need?
Well, it remains to be seen. Clearly, health was what you said was what they need. Let's bring in Kerry Kittles, former Nets guard, who joins us right now on the Goodyear Hotline. And Kerry, I don't know if you heard what Magic said there, but you obviously heard Jay's take on it as well. If we talk about, before we even get into what we saw in this series, if you talk about going forward, what does Brooklyn need to do? What would you say they need?
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I think Jay was right. I think they have all what it takes. He's absolutely right. Getting healthy is the number one thing for that team. We know that if they're healthy, how dominant they can be. They show that in just it's just a small sample size that we've seen this season. And don't forget, if they're able to keep Spencer Dinwiddie, another guy who can play with the ball in his hands and doesn't necessarily need Harden to make a play for him, and if you don't have Kyrie in the lineup, if you don't have KD in the lineup, you have another playmaker with the ball. He's another explosive guy who averaged 20 a year ago. So I think they have all what it takes to get it done. They just have to figure out a way of just keeping the bodies healthy throughout the regular season.
Kerry, do you think your backcourt between you and John Celestin, you guys would have gave us the business in college? You're the reason I wanted to go to Villanova. I'm just trying to let you know, Kerry. You're the reason I wanted to go to Villanova.
Well, I'm saying, me and Alvin, we would have given you guys a run for your money. Alvin Williams, no doubt.
That's right. Hey, I want to ask you, Joe Harris really struggled shooting the ball in the series, and obviously he signed a 4-year, $75 million contract. What goes through your mind when you go through something like that at that stage of the playoffs?
Yeah, that's a rough way to end it for another phenomenal year for Joe Harris, right? I mean, he's leading the league in three-point percentage again, and shooting at a very high clip, and just to have that series where he shot so poorly, man, I feel bad for him. I think the offseason for him is going to be a time to reflect on his mental strength. I think for him as a shooter, he needs to figure out a way of making those key shots when you're under the gun. And the only way to do it is to go out next season and prove it, right? So, I mean, they can't trade him right now. He's under contract. I mean, they want to keep him because he actually really helps the superstars spread the floor when he's hot. So, just got to figure out how to mentally be strong enough to get through that and push through the times when you don't see the ball going in. Are there other things you can maybe add to your game to take pressure off your three-point shot?
Kerry, as you know, as you have success in any league and you win games and there's coaches on your staff that have opportunities. There's a couple coaches on the Nets staff that have an opportunity to maybe move on. How many coaching changes do you see the Nets will have, and who will be possibly gone off this coaching staff before the start of next season?
Yeah, you're right. I think D'Antoni is definitely going to have some options. I mean, there's so many, jobs open right now. And that's what you really want from an organization standpoint. You talk about building a culture, right, of where you want to, you're going to see other teams purge their really good players. You're going to see teams purge their coaches. Right? We saw this for a long time going on with the Spurs. And then that's make the necessary adjustments. I think Sean Marks and Steve Nash really have a good take on what they really want to do. And if they lose a couple of coaches this offseason, they'll figure out how to find the right pieces to build what they already have. And Jay hit the nail on the head. They are building what all teams would desire to build, right? To have a franchise with 3 dominant players all in their prime who enjoy playing together. I mean, this is what you really want to see from an organization that's trying to build a championship culture. They have all what it takes. Losing a couple of coaches or maybe a player or two won't really hurt you when you have that core together.
That's the foundation, right? You start with that. If you have a foundation like that, it really just depends on how you build around it. But
and they're going to attract
like
more
that,
players. They're going to attract.
That's
everyone's going to want to go to Brooklyn now and play or be a part of that franchise, and that's a great thing you want to have when you own that franchise and when you're a part of it.
It's going to be a very interesting offseason, no doubt about it.